Hello, Kim. How long have you been out? You're up quick. How was your sleep? Yeah, I slept for like an hour, I guess. My sleep was deep and invigorating. Try to cover up the blood seeping out with your hands. Swallow the blood and conclude. Let's comb this entire centimeter by centimeter. That's the next step in the task chain, which is also a tree, basically. My sleep was deep and invigorating. Try to cover up the blood seeping out with your hands. Of course, I was just thinking maybe you've torn your stitches. Are you ready to move on? Let's solve the fucking case. Are you sure you're ready? You're thrashed around. Then you bolted up, half covered in blood. Find your rune. Swallow the blood and conclude. Let's comb the entire island in centimeter by centimeter. Centimeter. That's the next step in the tax chain. Okay. You still worry. You must have really thrashed the squid in your sleep. I mean, I guess. Well, I try to give him, like, stuff. I guess she would never accept any of it. I'm curious if she can accept anything. Alright, we're down to just a few things. Unless I imagine Sydney is the one that shot him. It was actually the skulls. That'd be wild. And I'll still ask her for like the paint. And see if that leads us to somewhere, at least with the wall. It seems like we could still talk to Sydney because she has the paint, unless there's some like other where some other location where we could get paint from. But I am not entirely too sure. There's something over here. Alright, rubber dinghy. It's deflated, broken. A small white flower blossoms all around you. Oh, like Maybells? Are these Maybells? Huh. Oh. Shit. That's him. He has the rifle. I'm going in with the gun. The deserter. An old man wearing tracksuit trouser leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eye, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp. He practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything. Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. Gets the job done.
Is that a Belle Margrave?
It's a Dragon 446.
Oh, it's a 440. It's a 46 millimeter.
A Sumerian rifle? How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Xinyao commune. Military aid.
Yeah, stay true to him. He can still make it sing. The Hin Xiao commune.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from a board.
Are you the fire guy?
What now? I can't hear you.
Do you originally tell two kids to put out their fire? Two twins?
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around trying to give up the position.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to confirm that. This is the only guy that's here. He's the fire guy. The position sounds like a hiding spot.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
That's what they call you, bitch. You retain your eyesight.
My eyesight, yes, helps me see all this shit.
Did you close the blast doors?
I did. And you opened it. How?
I feel the gear generator, then use the console.
I should have burned that console down.
How do you know it's coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music playing on the water.
Oh. My bad.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
It's not reactionary. It was cool.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate, hip, gyrating mental illness music.
Okay. Your weapon has stayed true to you. Mine has stayed true to me too.
Yes, I bet you killed a lot of people with it, you fascist fuck.
What?
Have you come to make me one of them?
His grip on the rifle tightens. His left eye twitches with what? Fear? Rage?
We have come to ask you questions, nothing more.
Lieutenant puts his hand on his
If you do
holster.
not comply, we will take you in. Do you understand?
Oh god. Alright. Sir, I need you to put down that gun so we can talk further. We're with the police. I'm with the police, you can keep the gun, but keep it down. Not one move. He's very close to his weapon. So I'm gonna say, just to be just calming, have it placed down. Yeah, just to get him to like talking with me, at least.
No.
Oh. The lieutenant aims his pistol square at the man's head and
Put
says,
it down now, sir.
"Oh shit."
Or you're going to blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway.
That doesn't work.
Out of bullets.
Oh, okay. The old man lays the rifle down carelessly, then looks at it lying there. He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound, a strange sadness like a song. What do you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
The present, be afraid and cold.
The old man pulls back the hood of his plastic cape and looks up in the sky. It's blue-gray, the same color as the sea. Those words, the future teaches you. Real music, real proletkult. That's la revolutionnaire, not your rock and roll Mrs. Trophy. Chanson desolate of the black and white. I'm not a Mrs. Trophy, I'm a half-dead police officer who's just doing his job. The job of a shitlicker. Well, alright. What is la revolutionnaire? Revolutionnaire. It's the anthem of the world revolution. One of three. Sorry, I thought I heard something. In Grad, they sang Brave Children. Privates of history, and in Hing Xiao, as it was. Some Sumerian shit, I guess. How does it go, the song? How did it go? He looks at his gun on the ground and shakes his head slowly. Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know, I can't remember. Doesn't matter now, it's gone now. He raised it radically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him. It was dear to him. He resents forgetting it. Pick up the gun lying in the sand. Your gaze follows your motion. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stock and patch in places with tape and wire. Still warm from his parched hands, not the metal. The metal is ice cold. His weapon has been modified several times. Inspect it closer. The rifle is in a shabby state, like a crutch that seems too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embroidered into the forearm made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon 4.46mm made in Xinjiao. It's as he said, it's a Triangon made in Xinjiao. No one said it has to be Belle Margrave. We were just guessing. From ballistic, it could have easily been a Triangon 2. This uses jacket ammunition 4.46, the right type and the right caliber. Glances at the gun. He's liking this. I am too. The rifle has been patched and modified several times. I wonder how old it is. The old man doesn't answer. He just stares in front of him. Stowed the gun. The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His left arm twitches suddenly. Some kind of involuntary response. Something slightly off with his mortarix. These look very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession in time. Just who are you? My name. He looks across the water, then back to you. Is Isof Lenanovich. Throws political commissar. of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Ravachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my term to surrender. His eyes turns to read again, dead and dull. The Commune of Ravachol. Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the insolent citizen militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the Isle de Contre Rene, and consigned to emergency defense duty in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14, the commune had fallen, still armed and ideologically trained. I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed patronized duty. Partisan duty. Okay. 51 minus 8 equals 43. You've been on this island for 43 years? No. I've been on other islands too. I was on Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago. You said you deserted your unit. I was just 16 years old, 15 when I was volunteered. At a lapse of faith, and of courage too. The lapse of faith. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovanian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took. For what? For a reaction to take hold. What's reaction? Petty bourgeoisie. Terror. It's in all men. Yes, we all have a tiny bourgeoisie person. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that, and trying to run away. He does not seem to react to what you said. Only his left brow moves a little. He does not believe a police officer is genuinely revolutionary. And this was when. The lieutenant instinctively looks to his notebook, but does not take it out. May the 13th, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airship. The petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds, storm clouds. When he started shelling, it was dark magic. Dark magic. The combined might of international capital, all at once, all the greed and terror in the world, tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower. He gestured towards it. Huddled on the floor, the artillery was 80 kilometers away in ozone, but I knew. I knew the commune would fall. We all be turned into ash, so I said I was going to the map room. He looks east. What then? I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland. In the bunkers underground, like the weakest of the weak, I moused, frightened of the ordnance all night and the sound of the waters in the morning. Whirring teeth, teeth, teeth. He looked at the sky. What was that? Airship. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. He opened his eyes and stared right through you. It was real. I seen it. I seen it in reality. Seen what? The mask of humanity fall from capital. He has to take it off to kill everyone. Everything you love, all the hope and tenderness in the world. He has to take it off, just for 1 second, to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. He's silent for a second. You see the fear and power in his eyes. Then you know. What? That the bourgeoisie are not human. Say nothing, let him finish. I had to fight it. I had to never stop. His black eye kept piercing your skin as he looks to some great distance behind you, shaking his head slowly, retracting from it. Okay. How have you concealed yourself all these years? It was hard in the tents. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night. There were posters, campaigns. We commoners still hoped, and they needed to still hope, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulate Maritinese and Coal City were turned to dust. He looked south, but Jamrock, Faubourg, even Conroy, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking keps had Muzzov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some Condors of Rolashaw were still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent, the frequency dead. How did I get between here and the mainland? At night I used a dinghy. In onshore the deflated tire. Oh, in the reeds. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city I stayed underground. Patrols you lot. The commons too. They started snitching. In the city he moved underground. From bunker to bunker. Oh. From bunker to bunker, he nods. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another anti-soldier vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted to. I just... The weapons cache under St. Gertis in 22B in the basement. Have you been there? He looks at you, then pulls the raincoat tighter around his neck. So he finally found it. There must have been a small squadron worth of arms in there. Billy Margaret Cornals, right? They were damaged beyond use. I know. So you've been there. Sleeping, he coughed. Some nights. Ammo scourging on others. Those Maragras were shit even before they were corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however. Oh. You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across. There's a bunker under the field building. Have you stayed there? The propaganda bunker? I used to, but not anymore. Okay, so that's who he... Okay. Propaganda bunker. They store leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers, I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. Two young boys. Killed themselves. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. He stares at the ruin of the field building. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins on the ground. Why don't you just walk there? I don't want to. They're all traitors, pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals. He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing. Interesting. One more question. I guess like if you've been to a war and you hold an ideology so hard, then it all gets destroyed right in front of you, and then kind of goes, I guess back, not really back to normal, but yeah, like you said, it moved on. No one really cares anymore, and he fought like his damn hardest. I could see that. One more question. Do you smoke the cigarettes? I do. He coughs. I already smoked them on the mainland. Points to Land's End. They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy in the pack too. Reminds me of the last century. Tell me another thing. What is this place? This island? How you survive all this time? How does anyone survive? I steal. Now hold on there. There's a choice. You could have become self-employed. Create the system. Oh, I got money. Got a more balanced hunter in the neoliberal hood. I got an achievement for that. You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetable supplies the life of a dog. He costs one more. Then puts his hand on his belly. But you don't have to be a dog. You're kind of choosing. How is your health, Mr. DeRose? I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool too. He does seem frail. Gant for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer. The RCN can provide medical service. You need to be overlooked. You need to be looked over. I need to die. A drool smile stretches across his mouth. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you, toy guns. We have dorfamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain. A light goes on in his light. He smacked his lips. I have been running out of that stuff. Give it to him, dude. I have like 10. I have more than 10, 9. This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over, and we can do that. There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Morbione. Moribium. How have you coped mentally? I haven't. I have holes in the brain. Years missing, others filled with pain only. A decade of... His eyes rolled into his skull and back. Uh-oh. I don't even know. Infernal? I also have holes in my brain. Points to your head. No wonder. All your minds are rotting from the radio waves. Okay. I watched the traders of this city turn the lights back on, more and more each year. Ruins glittering in the dark like a fucking merry-go-round. This is disgusting. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere. He looks down at his shoes, his face parched from the sun and the wind. Are they not heartbroken? How could they have moved on? He said this is your termless surrender. You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforce bourgeoisie morals in Rebelshaw. Um, we're just trying to help people. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralists International, the enemies of humanity. You took the city. I represent the adversary. Le Parti Communiste de Insolidité. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all into a mass grave for trying to free humanity. His hands shake and he breaks into a coughing fit. A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Renee, the royalist on the coast, said. Who is Renee? Oh, Renee. Oh, yeah, he did die. Oh, fuck. I forgot about him. I totally forgot. I was trying to remember who Renee is, and I remember he was the guard. With the other guy who I lost the bully. He never signed the revolutionary instrument of surrender. Liberal reaction signed an instrument, traitors, who should have been burned alive. I answered to the Communist Party. Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender? He just wipes the blood from his chin. Understood. I don't think you did. You live in the illusion. Radio shows, speed racing, and sporting good. It's not real. I mean, it is real, but I would say it is covering up like actual real problem, if that's what you mean. Like it's just a distraction, if that's what you mean. Again, you've been hiding here for 43 years. 43 years and 10 months. I don't even know what that is. That's steadfast. I'd say that's insane. It's not how a human being should live, but I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw. What have you been doing during all this time? Hiding, fishing, waiting. He looks across the water. Always waiting. Always. For what? For her to return. For who? Girl Child Revolution. Girl Child Revolution. Always. Oh, I do have the socioeconomic shit, don't I? Where is it? Is it this one? Kingdom of Consciousness? Um, she better kind. To not giving my life to so none of my first she's gone. Nothing in history is guaranteed, but revolution is still a possibility. It's true. It can happen like any time. Very true. I'll say that. No, the material base for an uprising has eroded. Yeah, but the working class has betrayed mankind in themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore. However, how hard I try, whatever I do. So that's why he's the deserter. Once a deserter, always a deserter. I'll say it to his face. I have done everything a man can. What have you done? We keep people alive. Oh, we tried. What should we upgrade here now? We really haven't put anything in physique at all. I don't remember what this one. Sneak under the nose, stunned with immense panish. I'll do like another composure there. We keep people alive. We help them survive. Whatever the ideological situation, day in and day out. Survive? For what? What is this place, this island? It's probably gonna tell us. It is not identity. He looks around. It's a defense fortification of the commune rubber shot, and I'm his last named defender. Understood. Hmm. So you're a communist soldier from the communist army. No, I'm not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army. But you say you were trained. But he deserted. Trained in historical materialism, political communist, and then assigned as a political commissaire by the party. These things used to mean something. So what does a political commissaire do? The old man does not enter. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs. His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follow the ideology of the commune. Scientific communism. The tracksuit-clad man is suddenly reanimated. A commissaire politique is a knight philosopher of the revolution, a future human awakened from shut down by the promise of the ideology. That means you're a trained communist, right? He nods slowly. Then another tremor. Point to yourself, I'm a moralist. Yeah, I did have that. I will say I am a moralist. No you're not. You're part of the meat shield. He squints. The human shield that surrounds the fascists while they kill and rape. That's what you are. Detective? We have not come here to discuss ideology. He then turns to the old man. We have come to ask questions regarding our murder investigation. The old man spins into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body. The expression on his face is unreadable. There's some sort of interference there. Neurological? I have another serious question for you. Oh. Yeah, assess his body language. His composure. There we go. What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain or the cough or the malnutrition. For a man who spends 44 years hidden in the urban wild, he is surprisingly okay. Indeed, he speaks fluidly, his movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated. Animated by what? It's a mystery. The animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought process cut off like threads. As he just stares at the log or the reeds, he also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. Great leaps of emotion, from anger to grief, despair. Dementia? He's seen demented people before. This feels similar yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen, even not senile. Wouldn't a foul temper by a byproduct of his life? Perhaps, but wouldn't a foul temper be a product? Oh, byproduct. Okay. Perhaps, but he seems more than that. The inner turmoil takes unexpected turns, as if forced on him in a way. In summary, you sense some underlying neurological disorder. Are you okay? How is your memory? He weighs. No, I'm not okay. I shit blood and surrounded by insane people. There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bound of rage, and the stomach thing of to a chorus. What have you been using this gun for? I used it for killing people. Killing people? It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property? I haven't done that. I used to kill people. Interesting. During or after the war? There is no after the war. He shakes his head and smiles, his teeth rotten back. Class war is never over. So you continue killing after hostility ended. Okay, okay. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acids on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while. But what? This is what you live for. This is the shit. Oh, like solving the case? Solving the mystery? The great serotonin jackpot. The solution. Going straight. No euphemism, he doesn't like those. No, be careful. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal. I know you want to tell me. Have you killed anyone with that gun in the last week or two? I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer. And why do you think that was a good idea? Don't listen to me, I'm wrong all the time. I guess, so you're saying you kill people after active fighting stopped. What did I just say? He keeps shaking his head. Erratically, suddenly, he brushes something out of his eye. What did I tell you? Don't drop the ball now. Wait, so which one do I say then? Nothing comes to you. Silence. His black eye looks at you. Did you use that gun to shoot and kill a colonel of the security contractor Colonel Lee? The who now? Yeah, like I assume he had no clue. That's why I didn't pick it, because he had no clue who any of those people are. I'm assuming he kind of just shot people. The who now? He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Um, the fascist death squad who took a bullet in the mouth on the night of March 4th. Oh yes, that one. He looks up to the sky and clacks his tongue. Ugly piece of work, that boy. Did you kill him? The lieutenant takes a sudden step towards him. Okay, now I gotta strike the confession. I am a son of a wielder and an officer of the Commune de Rivachal. I do not collaborate with murderers and pedestrians of the liberal regime. Exhausting reproof. Piloted on him, get a confession. The gun, the murder weapon is the perfect opener. The scent of blood in the air, but what else? There was something that you can't remember. I don't need your cooperation. I've got this. Show him the gun. Huh? Not a lot of guns around that use military grade ammunition, are there? It's a real gun, not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with that, jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns, of course you got those boys killed. Damn, he saw you. He watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boosting. We saved a lot of them. The leader Titus, we handled that situation. Um, Actually, yeah, because then you confirm that he can have a clear shot. Right, if we do this, we confirm that he does have a clear shot. Ow. You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. Okay. Even though he said it before. I just wanted like a double confirmation. I watched it happen. You let those murderers rip right into them. You got most of them killed, even the fat one. None of those people mean anything to you. The vultures feed on this city and you prepared the meal for them. We're getting diverted. Push the gun. Only the gun matters. Okay. So you want to fight. Do you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all you're doing. Your plan. You got them killed. You don't know anything. Okay. Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon. Point to it. You know what? Lieutenant, you're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? Dramatic act. You think we have the murder weapon? 446 jacket ammunition. Modified for range. He lists. We have it. This is it. I'm calling it we have the murder weapon. Good. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and draws a line. A single line. This feels good, doesn't it? Tying things up like this? When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer. Murder. We done the ballistics. Then that shot came from this island. I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascists. I drove past it. Do you like the view? You had the right visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top faller to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Duras. Too long. You clearly need medical aid. I'm ready to die. I've done my part. He practically admitted to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part. You said fascists. You're admitting you killed them. You're sad for your fascist brother, aren't you? One twig got broken, now the other's sad. He waves his hand. There's a twitch, then one more, one on his right eye. Come on, what are you forgetting? Hit yourself on the side of your head. Ow. Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dry Maybells on Khaleesi's roof. Oh, yes. Yeah, I saw the Maybells coming when we were coming up. Oh, yes. There were Maybells on the grounds when you got here. They're revolutionary symbols from the war. Nowhere else, nowhere in all Americanese have you seen them in this spring. There are Maybells behind the victim's window. Show them the dried flowers. Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even, a strange mood swing. So, many this year too, and the spring is coming now. I like this. The only reason I have the Maybells is because I got the reaction speed from when we first met Clasia. From that little fucking moment, I proved that he is the killer. Well, like super determined basically. I'm like having more evidence basically that he is the killer. So many of this here too. The spring is coming. It's already here. Wash the filth away. I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Meritonese. Only here. They blossomed on the isthmus before. We fertilized them with our blood. He looks to the water. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it. The coast too before they piled the containers on top of it. Filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeoisie children to play with. A young woman called Clasia. Ring any bells? These dry flowers were behind her window. Continue. Clasia. He knows her, but hadn't heard the name. Yes, Clasia. You hadn't heard her name, had you? My ears don't reach the city. You know her, right? She had an imminent relation with the victim, the mercenary. With the victim, he turns, his sight from the whitening field of flowers, and falls silent. Then the muscle in his jaw twists, a spasm. There is a small tremble, looks like a smile. A quick smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst. He suddenly jerks to life. You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer, armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer, dripping with blood. He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law. Well, he wasn't a rapist either, right? Because it was consensual. Because they're both for fucking Clasia and the mercenary were both crazy. But at no point it seems like, because we didn't see anything on Clasia indicating that she was attacked or I guess raped. She confirmed herself that she wasn't really. She could have lied. I get that. She has been lying about who came up with the plan. There's other things as well, but I don't know. I would say he was a killer. I can tell you that. Of course he was, but he was still under the protection of the law. Beating us to the ground, moaning with joy, he breathes in with strange animation. You hounds get so thorough when a company trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. He looks you dead in the eye. Now, you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate? Not when they die by the hundreds. He breathed through flared nostrils. That's it. This is it. Shoot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him. So, you shot him. Oh, the inhumanity, he closes. One paramilitary lesson, Brother Shaw. You can almost see him squeeze a tear out of his eyes. His fist begins to tremble from the anger. I like the music also stopped as soon as this happened. The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. While the lieutenant listens, holding his breath. Just nod. I had them in my sight. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. He begins to smile. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face, and his dick still in her. Then what? Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did. The lieutenant just looks at him for maybe 2 seconds, then breaks the silence. See, the music just came back again. Mr. Doros, are you aware you're confessing to a murder? Yes, a single word is all he gives. Well, we got one more skill point. Where should I put it? Put it in rhetoric. There we go. Accept. Yes, a single word is all he gives. The lieutenant takes out his notebook slowly, very slowly. And you were looking at them, the victim and the young woman having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night before you shot him. The old man nods. Why? Because that's what they were doing. He shrugs and smacks his lips. Because they were having sex? The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from. I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part. Why were you looking them and them that night? I am always looking. He cocks his head to the side, then turns his eyes to the city. Another tremor passes his left side, lower in intensity. Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand. A rifle scope has the best magnification. And if you don't like it, click. You pull the trigger? Yes. Think of it as a form of critique. So he basically was trying to play God. With a gun, basically. He will not stop now. These dialect materialist types never do. Exploit it. So how come this hasn't happened before? You got him now. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift. What specifically do you not like about what you saw the night of the murder? Them fucking. I didn't like that. So you were jealous? Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the revenuer enjoying himself, drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. For him to stop reacting to stimuli, to be broken off from the world, condemned into darkness, and I wanted her to see his head explode. You know, that too, she should have known better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, withering. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brain to spill out on her, but can't have everything. The caliber of bullet he used does not do that kind of damage. How long have you been watching her? Since she came to Maritinese. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning behind the field building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night and moving. We're going to see Ruby? Past the field building on the coast. What was she doing there? Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the... I'm assuming a cigarette. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her smoking. She was nervous, but not scared. What do you think she hid there? Her passport and tickets to Villers. He caught her from there to Casher Baram. Some kind of hidden container on the coast. You looked into it? Yes, after she's gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually. Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Do you take the documents? No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to Flanny. He seems confused momentarily, or I mean... Moving on, do you continue watching her after this? I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and the body hard and lean on bruised all over. Black and yellow. I can see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was too. A spook on the run. Shaw, the Koleka of Capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals. You could tell she was a spook from the documents. She had different color hair on the photo and glasses, forged. Some sordid bourgeoisie affair. I heard about this kind of thing on the radio. He's setting it up for you. The bruises. You can't make that out in the scope. And you can see her bruises through the scope of a rifle. You can't see a bruises. You can't see bruises a scope. It's just a blur. How do you get close enough to see the bruises, Mr. Doros? I have my ways. What ways? Tell me. Not in this lifetime, Deroit. His thoughts elsewhere. On her. This one's gone. Make up somehow. Connect something else fast. Yeah, I already have her. That's cool. I've already got him. I don't need to be perfect. No, it's not. Fix this now. Move on extra carefully. Be incredibly minute. Did you have feeling for that woman? There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough. The coals of his eyes glistening suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying? Man needs to feel something else in this fight. It helps if you have your eye on something there. It's a weakness, I know. There have been others? Yes, over the years, it's not unproletarian to feel something. Was that why you left the dry flowers behind her window? No. Why then? I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying like a child in the corner of her room, on the floor like she does sometimes. The corner of her room, like downstairs or upstairs? When was this? The day after I killed him, and you brought her Maybells? Yes. He looked at the charred logs. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore. You wanted to console her. Maybe. I told you, I have holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you. If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you. He wipes his eyes. In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his note. So in conclusion, it wasn't about him. It was about her. Her. He repeats, staring at the ashes. Then the reeds. There's a twitch in the corner of his eyes. Lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. Hey, new skill point. Alright. I'm just getting skill points left and right. Where can I use this for now? Uh, let's put one in reaction speed. Alright. Where is she? That Classia. I haven't seen her there for days. She got away, but she let us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the sea fort. I'll tell you. I'll be honest, dude. Like, gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew. She sighed. She looked and yeah, she definitely knew because she connected the string. So she looked at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right in me. It doesn't matter. He knows she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out day by day, cigarette by cigarette. We could get more. The lieutenant uses the opportunity to tell you in a lower voice. We got him talking. Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? Looking at anything else you haven't liked? A Okay, I think I did it like too soon. A tragic comedy, he shakes. Druggies, prostitute, retiners. A strange little image seems to fire up in him again. It's straight in his back. Which reminds me. The familiar put of hatred. More specifically. Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house, stripped clean and draped in neon. But Maritanese. He shaked his head in grave disgust. Maritanese is the worst. How come? Because of the racist. Everyone is a racist Maritanese. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows in the ruins and the lorries. He points inland. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revolution 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democrat Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it. Mr. Clare? Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertisement yuppies erect a statue of Felipe III, a philiptic murderer, on the town square to spit on the working class. Let him finish, do not interrupt. Not since the surf of ancient pericarnasis has history produced a more inert social class than the Maritanese proletariat. The rest of Rivershaw at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruin. Intense like animals, he points to the church. Like those boons morons on the ice. I pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. He keeps shaking his head and sorrows from the sight he missed. Nod. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sorocrant on her yacht, licking her lips. The old horde's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racist liberal are dancing our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasite he fought to protect are off in Ozen or Koraya Morin, or some other island they built their palaces on. Feeding on drugs and having sex with their own Jesus Christ. Say nothing. That's all the rich really want, sex with their own. Okay. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of Serenades Ziran, saw an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Fursula is now dead. It's not. We did good when we pushed him under that horse cart. If only in the 30s those disco whores would follow his ominous mumbling. Could not make out a single word. The disco whores are too much. Hatred shut down his brain language century, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertisement agency people might be worth investigating. And the silver on her yacht, Joyce probably. Disco whores. Whores is all he says. Even the word has to be pushed through his teeth with great force. There's something about the statue on the roundabout and syphilis? Syphilis is a disease Philippus II contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination. Okay, an abomination. The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions of sparkling wine. Cornucopia and monuments of himself. His son Felipe III, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb. He breathes in with the waves of hatred. And he still went on to govern Rivershot for 25 years. We lost too many lives toppling that mode of government, and those grotesque statues too, 100 of them, but it's still there. What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why? Say it because the king is holy and his statues are indestructible. Because cynical advertisement yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it. That's right. Some advertising cockroach erected a cynical deconstruction of it. We tore it down with honest working class plastic explosive, and there it is. He shakes his head in disgust. Art is a bourgeoisie, the establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekotata. Yekotata. Wait, the bullet hole in Felipe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him. Oh! Yeah, because it's... Okay. It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot for you. It was you. You shot the statue. There was a bullet hole in his heart. I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the bullets for a deformed monster of liberal capitalism. Shameful, really. Thank you, Delingo. Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective? He turns to you. I say for the statue then. Tell me, Mr. Joyce. The fat union man let them put it in there. Corrupt as he is, probably got a fat check for it too, shared with the law. He keeps having opinions about the union leadership. You mentioned the union is a social democratic and Mr. Clare is a farce of a social democrat. Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy, the true enemy of the plurality, placating the masses. Disappointment so personal, he displays a familiarity with the union top brass. Who's a disappointment? Ever Clare? That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation, the smart one. Edgar. You mean Edgar, Everett's brother. The old man chortles? With a nod. He talks a big game about uprising and social base. He must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and himage that. You talk to Edgar. First against the wall with him. He stopped poking at the ashes now, just shaked his head. The Clarence wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard, not all this time. Nothing happens in Mauritania without them knowing. Of course, maybe the Clarence asked them to. Have you approached them? I haven't approached anyone, I've hid. It was Edgar who came to me. How did he know you were here? He didn't just stumble in like an oaf, he figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. He points to the path leading to the tower. Step right off the boat and walk down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was the man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things. When was this? 20 years ago. Oh wow, neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then. That's around the time the Clares came to power. What did you talk about? Edgar did the talking, paid his respect like I were a fossil in the uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle, flaunted his pink degree, even quoted Mazov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Mazov. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offer me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he bought. And he let you be here? Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the loyalists. Even the clerics understand this. They let them be here. Understanding was a curiosity, but why such a curiosity? Mr. Duros, did you kill the colonel mercenary for the clerics to incite a riot? You know why I killed that fucker, droid? He said, as to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again. Again, what have you done for Edgar before? Tried teaching him some Mazovanian social economics. They didn't stick. They parted waves. Okay, he didn't do the hanging for them. He didn't do the hangman for them. But he's insinuating something. Yeah. There is more here, and you can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost. Wow. Yeah, logic. The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water, dark cold water. 20 years ago, when you met Edgar, and the Clares didn't run a union yet, did they? Huh? A sputter from the old man. He acknowledged it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend. Who did? The bourgeoisie cow. Tiffany Holly. Licked the rich man's hand. Wait. Okay, that's who was in charge before. Licked the rich man's hands every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot of mutual cooperation. And money. She'd like that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker. His eyes glistened suddenly with hatred. She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that Cassia. And then she disappeared. She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muskov bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work. And then she just disappeared. Call in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away, vanished like a piss stain. He squints and smiles at the black logs. No, that's not quite it, is it? Did she? The lieutenant voice is calm. They say her daughter called in. Not her personally, but that wasn't really her daughter, was it? No, I guess it was not. You could swear you see the ember glow again under his eyes on the dust. Edgar, had someone make the call. Why is it? Oh. Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross? She couldn't make the call herself. Here it is. The bend in the river. Why? Because she was dead. Just say nothing. Say nothing. The cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal, grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job and a moving target. She was going home waddling, dressed in yellow. Drunk like she's often was. The ruins were black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal. Heading home to Grand Cornell or Bentoncourt, someplace like that, where they built those new batiments for the people who flourished in the hell around her, in the ruins. You shot her. Someone shot her. He shrugged his eyes, grew cold slowly. I remember the cow just fell. My memory's full of holes. All I know is nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There's no uprising, just words. The Union fizzled a song, nothing came of it. Nothing. Well, something did come of it. Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. Heh. He sputtered again, nothing more. If you were to testify to this, give the RCN something on Edgar. You could walk. The lieutenant says in a voice even calmer, as if it were nothing at all. We will strike everything you've done and process you as a prisoner of war. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Serbian People Republic. A degenerate worker state. Guilt-chin. No thank you. I'm Revolutionarian. My days are short. I will to rot away here in Mirror Lynch's cell. I will not to testify to anything. But you did do it. I saw it happen and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 a.m. Radio Revershaw late night. That's a lot of detail for that. Secret task. What happened to the previous four women? Oh, got another level up now. Um, put one in logic, I guess. Um, everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled. He looks to the city. Same old freezing hatred. The blood-drenched scrutiny on our boat. What is a scrutinet? Oh, you mean Joyce? He nods. Women like her feed on the life energy of young working-class men, and they let her. Can't believe the inner lumpmen out there. They just let her drive her little boat like that. No violence, not even a robbery. The working class has lost their appetite for justice. It's a extreme way of justice. His voice trails off in disappointment. If only he had the ammunition. By the cock parading in his colorful uniform, you mean Renee. Every fucking morning for 34 years throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls play it like it was life itself. Click clack, he makes the sound of balls connecting across the water each day. In that uniform, like a pirate plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Petanic maniac race traitor. Just nod. I remember him. He points to his black eye. I remember him from La Noise. Not him personally. His make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed the one. With his shaky finger, he points to the city, toward the center, toward the crater near the plaza where a lonely pine tree stands. That one. There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today, not even Gaston alone. Just nod. Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. A grin stretched across his face and whispered, "Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me." You'd like to kill him? Smile, not yet. I like to look at him, strut around, place the crosshair on his metal, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bonbon melt in my mouth. Save the treat for later, the lieutenant asks cheerfully. He is a juicy bonbon. The one, a real treat for the black day the blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock Renee. For the boys he killed. Then I looked at him, throw those balls, and I suddenly feel. He lets out a wistful sigh. Better. I even hit one bullet, so I always have one for him. I haven't seen him around lately. Stuttering around, must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood. I'll just tell him, cause now he knows. Now, just tell him. Renee's dead. He died of old age a couple of days ago. No. Yes. The old communist looks at you, his blackberry eyes shaking in disbelief. I waited too long. I waited too long, and now he's dead. I'm sorry, Mr. Joyce, the lieutenant said softly. I understand you knew him for a long time. We're all dead now. He just shakes his head. Fuck it. If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done it. There must have been 1,000 black days of these islands. His health ailing. You had 1,000 chances to kill him. And I blew them all. What does that matter? He's gone. Ancient dust. He reminded him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of something else, but no, it's just hatred. In a weird way, he did care about him. A little flash. All human beings care about each other. I care for seeing head explode, and now, goddamn this world. Well, I'm sorry. Fuck you. Are you okay, Mr. Dross, to go on? You think I haven't seen people die? That's all I've seen them do. Fucking die. All the other plans we had to love, to colonize the Pale, it's all fucked now. That doesn't look like he's okay. Glad we talked about this now. Yeah. I guess this is it. It's time for the arrest now. It's time to end the game. We solved it. We solved the mystery. Isov Lilevich Dross. You're under arrest for the murder of Ellis Courtenier. What? The old man's eyes filled with sudden unexpected terror at the words. But you said I would be taken to the Terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movement and mood swing he's been exhibiting. Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You'll be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand? But, do you understand, sir? No, I don't want to. I have to stay here. He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror. He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now onto the boat. First say, does it have room for 3? Not really. We could escort him to the pier, then either one of us can take him to the island while the other one stay here. But then who watches him while you're coming back here? But who watches him there while I come back for you? Come back for me. How about I go and send a boat back for you? What is this farce? This is fucking farce. I can't. Lillian, you could ask her, maybe. Mimica just asks that netpicker to watch him. This is no harmless old man. The lieutenant shakes his head. Well, she's also, like, has a saber. If I remember that correctly. She has a sword. She could easily defend herself. And she's a strong woman, too. This fucking world. He stares at something, who knows what, in the dust. This world. What is this? Below the confusion and rage, a fit of Hamu's view, like yours. The thought passes. More pressing matters takes its place. No, listen. Listen now.